With new details coming out regarding the departure of Stephanie McMahon from WWE and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for May 21st. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With the Usos unifying the WWE Tag Team Championships by defeating RK Bro on SmackDown last night, Paul Heyman would take to Twitter to react to the Bloodline holding all these titles. Tonight, WWE on Fox posted this with the caption, "How it started versus how it's going." All false humility aside, you're looking at the most historic run in WWE history. Let's break it down so simple. Even an Instagram user can understand. Roman Reigns, now WWE's undisputed heavyweight champion of both Raw and SmackDown, a 620-plus day title reign, unprecedented in modern times. The Usos, the longest reigning tag team champions in SmackDown history, doing what no other tag team has ever done, undisputed tag team champions. And then there's me, the special counsel, the wise man, the OG, the warden of the Uso Penitentiary. Who else has even come close to this level of success? Not Heenan, not Blassie, not Albino, not Grand Wizard, Jimmy Hart, JJ Dillon, no one. Roman Reigns, heavyweight champion, GOAT undisputed. The Usos, tag team, GOAT undisputed. Paul Heyman, manager, advocate, special counsel, GOAT undisputed. Because, and this is now clearly uncontroverted, undeniable, undisputed, we the ones. Roman Reigns would write, unstoppable, undisputed from day one. Acknowledge us. Speaking of the Usos, they were on After the Bell where they would hint at a new addition to their faction, NXT star and brother Solo Sikoa. Always trying to evolve. You're going to get left behind or you're going to stay in the mix. And when you get here, you either sink or swim. That's as simple as it can get. It doesn't matter if you're running things down there or whatever. When you get up here, we're going to find out what you're really made of. You're either going to crack or deliver as we do. And the sucky part about this, little brother, it's going to be hard. We're all big timing. And then you've got little bro and he's next in line. It's going to be hard for him, but stick to the script and we always got his back. We love him. He's doing great down there. Can't wait until we expand this bloodline, and trust me, Oos, we expanding deep. Also, on SmackDown, Michael Cole let fans know that following their walkout during Monday Night Raw this week, Sasha Banks and Naomi have been suspended indefinitely from WWE, and that there will be a tournament in the future to crown new women's tag team champions. With the two reportedly pulled from all live events through July, WWE is also taking the merchandise for them off their online shop. Sasha Banks was also seen in public for the first time since the walkout on Monday at a concert. On Twitter, Promo Joe would show that Sasha Banks and Naomi have been removed from the signature Then, Now, Forever intro. During the taping for AEW Rampage on the 18th, Bryan Danielson would get his leg stuck between the ring and the entrance ramp. As AEW President Tony Khan had this to say about it. After the main event, in a brawl, Chris Jericho and Jericho Appreciation Society versus BCC Kingston Santana Ortiz, Bryan Danielson's foot got trapped between the ring and ramp. This is why fighting after the bell is dangerous and discouraged. Thank you AEW wrestlers and staff who helped break up the wild brawl after tonight's Rampage main event. Plus, thank you for pitching in to push back the ring so that we could safely extract Bryan's leg from danger. Following his loss of the AEW title in November, Kenny Omega has not been seen on programming, with him most recently having a procedure on his hernia. While the Young Bucks have teased a return for the former champion to face Vikingo at the Triple Mania event in October, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that there is no date set for a comeback match. On his Extreme Life podcast, Matt Hardy talked about his time in WWE, saying the company wanted his Broken character to team up with Jeff Hardy as Willow and face the Fiend. There was a pitch to get me to try to re-sign my contract. They set a big match with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, and they said, what if we did something now where Bray is doing something as the Fiend, and people are trying to stop him, and then all of a sudden there's an appearance of a very hardcore Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy. But then we see on the talk show where Bray is, and he's talking to all the kids, and then you see Broken Matt, and Will-O-the-Wisp shows up, which sounded very cool and awesome. But I also knew at that time that would probably last 6 or 7 weeks, and then it would be done, so I was already mentally checked out. Talking about his upcoming return match at StarCast on July 31st, Ric Flair revealed to TMZ Sports that he spoke with many doctors before deciding to step back between the ropes. I don't have any aches or pains. I know I've had the health issues, but I asked 40 different doctors, and I decided I'm only going to listen to one. Not necessarily the one that was going to give me the right answer, but that I felt the most comfortable with. On her Instagram story, former WWE star Nia Jax answered questions from fans, as one asked if her and Becky Lynch were good friends. Nia responded, writing that she doesn't think Becky has a good friendship with anyone. A couple months ago, Lynch apparently unfollowed Jax due to her controversial posts, with it seeming like there's no love lost between the two. Speaking about the walkout on Raw, Mark Henry on Busted Open Radio took issue with WWE calling the two stars unprofessional. My issue was not even with the walkout. My issue was not even with the disagreement or the disclaimer. My issue was with people on the show saying that was unprofessional. Because I will have to tell you right now, if that was my wife and I'm working on that show, I am seriously going to walk down to the announce table and I'm going to say, hey, you stay professional. Do your job. And then I won't have to walk down here to the ring to tell you to not do that again. Former WWE trainer Bill DeMott would echo a similar sentiment, writing that it's hypocritical that the company will say something about this, but nothing regarding the recent arrest of Sunny. So they will come out on WWE and say how Sasha and Naomi are unprofessional, but they will not address a Hall of Fame superstar who has killed someone after numerous DUIs. I wonder how this looks to the public. With Chief Brand Officer for WWE Stephanie McMahon announcing that she is stepping away from her company duties for the time, talent is now going to be reporting to WWE President Nick Khan. Additionally, Fightful noted that many of McMahon's close co-workers have already been let go. Last year, much of Stephanie McMahon's team that she worked with directly was dismantled during rounds of office layoffs. Those that we spoke to who worked directly with Stephanie McMahon spoke highly of her and said they enjoyed their time there. One said that they weren't surprised by her decision, but didn't have any reason behind it. PW Insider would also report that McMahon's absence is unrelated to the walkout of Banks and Naomi. No, I don't think that has anything to do with her leaving. She has been a party to the WWE booking her whole adult life. That isn't the reason. I've heard a lot of stories, and frankly, until we can confirm them, I am not going to speculate. I don't think it's reasonable or fair, to be quite frank. All I will say is, I do believe there is a lot more to it than we know right now. WWE interviewer and host Kayla Braxton recently had to fire back at a fan as she first recalled a story to express the concerns of hotel safety on Twitter. It needs to be common practice for hotel front desk workers to not say the room number out loud as other people are in earshot. We can read numbers, bro. WTF. I will ask for another room. When a fan replied saying these were first world problems, Braxton wrote, I'm sick of getting these responses to my tweet yesterday about hotels. Do you know the amount of people who have been followed, robbed, or worse? It's not about being famous, it's about safety. Those of you responding this way are probably the ones we have to worry about. When we have talent who have had people show up to their homes to harm them, talent jumped at a show, stalked on the street, followed to our hotel rooms, we have a right to request privacy and respect. The lack of boundaries and brains some of you have is concerning. Taking to his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T spoke about the depth of AEW's current roster, saying this many stars in one company leads to many getting lost in the shuffle, like in WCW. Yeah, there's been a lot of guys on the show. They try to get a lot of guys on that show and highlight as many things as they possibly can. A lot of things get lost in the shuffle, of course, in doing that. WCW back in the day, they hired a bunch of guys. Most of the guys, they just hired them so they wouldn't go to WWE. WCW would send a bunch of guys and they were sitting at home making money. They just didn't want those guys to go to WWE or back to WWE. We've seen now a lot of the AEW original contracts are coming up and they're not getting re-signed. So maybe that's the theme and the motto of Tony Khan. I think that's what I heard. He's not going to fire guys. He's just going to let their contracts run out. He may not use them, but he's still going to pay them. I don't know if that's a recipe for success, but we will find out in the long run. WWE, they're not going to pay you and let you sit at home. They let Mustafa sit at home for a minute, but look where he's at now. I'm going to tell you right now, WWE's motto is, if you work in this company, you're going to be doing something. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.